Hello, 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 hello. So, uh, said I was going to be coming on here more consistently, and so I want to be straight up with my audience. Greetings, greetings, greetings. Y'all come on up in here. Y'all come on up in here. So, when it comes from me, I can only speak for me. When it comes to doing content, being a content creator, or whatever you want to call it, a vlogger, or whatever you want to call it, a YouTuber, or whatever you want to call it. For me, I'm not motivated because I need to do it. Hey, Silent Warrior, good morning. I'm not motivated because of out of need. I'm motivated to get up out the bed in the morning, walk around the corner into my office and log on for work because I need to pay my mortgage and I need to pay my insurance and I need or I want to do my trips. But for YouTube, there's not a need there. So sometimes I tend to lose my inspiration and poof, just like that, I'm not interested. Just like that. And before I was just all into it. And when I'm all into it, I'm all into it. You said, okay, AKA Bridget. Oh, hey, Bridget. I'm all into it. But when I'm not, I'm not. And I know it's been some things going on this weekend. The interview with Manassas, which I did watch it. He dropped some really good nuggets, and I got to watch the rest of that. And then Jobs came out and obviously must have said something about Larry Reed because Thais is over there doing his rebuttal. And it's always funny because all of these guys are like, I'm really not interested. I'm just saying this. And really, they just throwing shots and throwing shots and throwing shots at each other. That's getting kind of boring. Getting a little boring, getting a little over and over and over and over. Wash, rinse, repeat. Wash, rinse, repeat. And really, it probably wouldn't get boring for me if I didn't have other things going on. Let me just keep it honest. Let me just keep it honest. My Panthers doing all right now. I'm thinking about buying me some game tickets. I'm getting very excited because it's less than 100 days till my cruise. Um, I'm thinking about uh, throwing a trip in between, getting pretty anxious and up and annoyed. I don't want to say upset, but annoyed with the airlines and this whole government shutdown because it's gonna affect my next trips. I got a trip coming up for Thanksgiving. It won't affect that one. That's a family trip. I'm gonna get to see aunts and uncles for Thanksgiving. We're doing our every other year beach trip, but I don't really celebrate Xmas or Christmas, as y'all call it. So sometimes I just like to slide on out of town, or maybe for New Year's, go somewhere warm, a warmer climate, somewhere tropical. This whole airline thing is messing up what I wanted to do, annoying me. So I'm keeping an eye on this shutdown. I am concerned about the shutdown beyond just traveling, how it may affect me traveling. I am concerned about it beyond that because I have a lot of friends who work for and associates who work for the federal government. Of course, I am a military wife, so of course now the veterans and retirees, we're still getting paid. Uh, let that money not hit my account. Let that money listen. So veterans and whether they're disabled vets or whether they went all the way through, did their 20 years and they're a vet, 15 or 20 years and they're a vet, or both. You can be both a vet and a disabled vet at the same time. Did y'all know that? You can do all of those years and be both a disabled vet and a vet at the same time. But that money better hit that account. But anyway, um, but I am concerned because, like I said, I have people close to me who still active through the military, work for the federal government, that this could affect. So I'm concerned. And of course, the EBT, how that could affect those. Listen, listen, Mr. President, them judges said you got 3 more minutes. Noon, Eastern Standard Time. You got 3 more. I'm sorry, I keep tapping on stuff, y'all. But you got 3 more minutes, Mr. President, to loose here. Loose. They said loose that contingency and tell them folks how you gonna pay them, how you gonna get that money to their food stamp card. Also, I'm thinking about doing Jamaica to the areas of Falmouth. I always pronounce that incorrectly. Falmouth. It's spelled Fallmouth. Kingston didn't get hit as hard as Montego Bay and Falmouth. So I'm really thinking about planning a trip there so that I can put some money into their economy. The best way to help, you send the money by Red Cross. Red Cross gonna take about 40% of it. I heard that whoever Billy Graham's son, whatever his name is, Billy Graham's son, he sent. I forgot the name of their. They're a little, but they sent a plane over there with some help, and I think that's pretty good. Even though they are Trump and MAGA supporters, I thought that was pretty nice for them to send them over there. But I'm thinking about doing trips. So my point is this: right now, my mind is so on what I got going on. My Panthers possibly going to a game. I got a family trip coming up for Thanksgiving, trying to fit another trip in between before the first of the year, go somewhere tropical for my mental health and everything else. I'm looking at stuff and I'm like, I don't care. I'm looking at, whereas Thais and Jobs argue with each other would have been juicy, with Thais defending Larry and, Vanessa doing this thing and, them back and forth shots and these little idle threats they like to do. He gonna get you, Fulton's gonna get you. I wonder if other people see through that as I see through that. It's kind of like it's a jive, not King jives, but it's like a little, little poke. It is entertaining, but right now it's not. I don't care. So that's my title. And just like that, I have lost interest just like that. But I am going to come back maybe later and do a video on Roberta McCoy. Roberta McCoy, I figured with Roberta McCoy, things wasn't what they appeared. Roberta McCoy is the lady who went up and gave $1,200 to Marvin Sapp. Hey, Tracy Chappelle. Hey, Sugar. I was just telling them I'm getting so excited about our cruise coming up. It's less than 100 days. I'm so excited. I don't know what to do. So excited in seeing the tribe again. But Roberta McCoy was the lady who went up with her grandson to give $1,200 at Marvin Winans Church. And when I saw her on the news, I knew it wasn't all that she said it was. So I was watching St. James, I think it was Saturday night, and she's made us another statement. She's made another statement, and there was some hurt there, and she didn't get apologized to. So I may come back later and read that statement, and read that statement and discuss that statement. But all of this stuff going on between these guys, hopefully my inspiration will come back. But for right now, yeah. Y'all need to give me something else. Give me something new. Y'all, we circulate the same stuff. We're going over the same stuff. We know y'all don't like each other. Okay, we already know that. We know. We know. Give me something else. Give me something new to inspire me. One of y'all. I don't know. Pull up or something. I don't know. Don't pull up. I'm just playing. That's irresponsible. But I don't know. I don't care. Can y'all talk about some other stuff other than each other? Because I don't care. So that's it. That's all I wanted to say. And just like that, I lost interest in the old carnal church sector till they give me something else. And so that's that. Was there anything else I was gonna say before I go on off of here and move on? So y'all will see me putting up a lot of shorts and stuff. I decided to introduce myself more to this sector over here. People over in the beef sector pretty much know me. They already know I like to travel. They already know I like the Carolina Panthers. They already know about my grandson. I got one grandchild. One. I thought I said my kids ain't interested in having no kids. We thought we wasn't gonna be no grandparents. We watched other people, our friends, have grandchildren. We was like, oh Lord, our friends our children ain't interested, and that's fine. And then my daughter got pregnant. We got this little boy. He's everything. Oh, I just love him so much. I just love him so much. I love him so much. I don't mind getting up real early in the morning and taking him to daycare every day. I just love to look back in the back seat and he's there and he kind of give me a little grin. He's just I just love him. But so the people on this side, so the people on this side can learn more about cruiser. What am I doing when I'm not being petty? What am I doing when I'm not being messy? What am I doing when I'm not on here just talking trash? Who am I? Because we're more as content creators. We're more than this stuff. Thais is more than just throwing darts at uh, uh, Jives and St. James and talking about how low vibrational people and all of that. Do he really mean that? No, because he don't know people. But he's more than that. Jives is more than throwing shots at Larry Reed and his fights with whoever. I guess him and William get along well now. These guys, and I'm just naming them too, but there's so much more. They're more than that. Who are they? And one thing that Thais said that was very, very interesting was that he said that he was going to maybe do some content sharing who he is, because he's more than his past of doing time, which I didn't know he did time. Like, you did time like in a jail. And then when he said it was during the Twin Towers, I was like, it was just 20 years ago. Like, you went in a jail. I promise y'all, there are some things that I didn't know existed in life until I until I started really, really hanging around and interacting in social media. I promise you before the Lord, I didn't know these things exist. I'm like, you went to jail? But he said it's more to him than just that. His walks, quote unquote, down Hollywood. And I'm interested in hearing it. I'm interested in hearing what else is he interested in other than this stuff right here. And so back to me. So, these little shorts of stuff I'm sharing, it's just a little bit of my life. People don't know I can DJ. People don't know I can put together an event. People don't know. A lot of y'all do know I like to cruise, but a lot of people don't know why I have such a passion for traveling and cruising. People don't know why I like a ship. My mother worked for Hatteras Yachts, which is a yacht building company, and that's where my interest of selling started. Seeing all them, she didn't build them little yachts. She used to build. Hatteras Yachts built the yachts for the luxury yachts. So that's where my love of selling came from. So it's just beyond what's beyond the content. What's behind the content creator, that type thing. Yeah. What you say? My pastor talked about spiritual common sense. Hold on. Okay. My pastor talked about spiritual common sense. He said, if we have been taking up money for new pews for 10 years and now have years, and I have a 25 Mercedes and a 2015 Nissan, can you say you have spiritual common sense? And here's the thing. Yeah, that's true. Now, just because a pastor has a yes, girl. Oh, yes, absolutely, absolutely. But just because a pastor, I do want to say this: just because a pastor drive a nice car does not mean that he get it from his parishioners, or a preacher. And every preacher ain't a pastor. And I say that by experience. I have driven Mercedes. Mercedes have been my choice of car since at least 2012, 2011, 2012. And my husband's a preacher. And I guarantee you, the church ain't buying it. I promise you, the church ain't. That one or the ones I've had, or the current one I drive, I promise you, the church ain't buying it. So yeah, because really the pastor is not supposed to be over the finances. The pastor is supposed to do just that. Pastor. It shouldn't be in the pastor's job description to be over that's the trustee's job. Even deacons are not deacons as you see in the Baptist churches or some of the holiness churches. Deacons are preachers. That's kind of the entry to your preaching is deacon. The trustee is supposed to take care of the money and finances for the church. So if your pastor over the finances, that's the first problem. How can he? And I guess he could. I guess he or she could. But how is it that you elders? My husband and my mother are elders. Elders are not elderly. Elders are preachers too. They're reverends. They're equivalent to a reverend. Ministers in the church. Now, an elder can also be a pastor. They can also be a pastor. I went to a church where we called our pastor Elder Austin. Now he's a bishop, but he ain't all the way in. A bishop elect or something like that. But he was an elder. So let me look it up, because my mother, like I said, my mother and my husband are elders. But let me look it up. Hold on, y'all, give me a minute. Hold the line. Okay, I had to look it up. Let me see if I can cut and paste. Y'all know I'm the Google cut and paste queen. So it says okay. An elder is a spiritual leader who provides guidance, teaching, oversight for a congregation with key ministry duties, as in teaching, teaching sound doctrine and stuff like that. An elder can be, I think when my husband was first elder, he was in his 30s, late 30s. So it's not even a person. You can be an elder and be 20 in your 20s. So it ain't got nothing to do with age. It have something to do with calling, your calling in the ministry, if that makes sense. But anyway, yeah. So that there's another thing about me. I could talk about my experience as being a military wife for so many years. I could talk about my experience as being elder's wife. I'm gonna tell y'all a little bit, and I'm gonna let y'all go. I remember one of the last services I went to in the Apostolic Church. We was having convocation. It was in August, and our bishop's wife, our bishop was really the pastor of our church, but he was rarely there because he was bishop of all the churches. So he'd be going from church to church, from different churches. So the elders at the church would be the ones in charge, which was my husband, and then we had another a married couple who were also elders. So my husband is 7 years older than me. Hey, Tracy Whitehead. Hey, just being me. So my husband's 7 years older than me, and he's an elder in his church. And all of the other wives, the bishop wives and the elder wives, were so much older than me. But our bishop's wife, and our bishop was pretty young too. Him and his wife, they were pretty young too. They were like barely in their 50s. But I respected her so much because she was such a down to earth lady. She was beautiful. She passed away some years ago. She was such a beautiful, down to earth lady, just everyday lady. So anything that she did, I just felt like he's the bishop. That's her husband. My husband's elder, and that's my husband. So whatever she did, I wanted to do. I don't mind learning from people who's doing the right thing. And she took a Sunday where she was an usher. She was the bishop's wife, not just the pastor's wife. She was the bishop's wife, and he was the bishop over this whole organization. Churches in Winston-Salem, churches in Rayford, churches. I mean, I can't even name all these places. Just he's the bishop over the whole thing, and she would take a Sunday to usher, and she would usher at the convocation. So guess what I did? I became an usher. But I remember the last convocation that I went to, and the convocations was always around my birthday in August, and they used to give me a hard time. Oh, they would give me a hard time because I was coming down to the convocation. I wasn't wearing no hat. I ain't wearing no hat. And then they'd be like, all the elders' wives. They said, I ain't sitting over there. I'm not sitting over there. I got kids. My kids were young at the time. Like, and then my son is nonverbal autistic. So that gave me good reasons why I'm not sitting over there with them, and I ain't wearing no hat and I ain't dressing like this. So one of the last convocations I went to, the things was going to change. Things were going to change for me. Things were about to change for me as far as my life, because it was some life changes I was about to make. If y'all want to know what those is, y'all have to go over there to Cruiser and look up the video I did explaining that. It's a whole story. But anyway, I knew I was about to make some changes. So I went, I went down during, we used to have these breaks in between services in convocation. And I went down, the first thing, y'all, I've always had long hair. All my life had long hair. And I went down and I cut my hair all the way up to my shoulder and went back to church. And the young women went in there, they was having a whole fit. Why did you cut your hair? A woman not supposed to cut hair. So then I had phone is forever, ever ringing. If you ever hang around me, you would notice my phone is forever going off. So then I had this skirt that I was ushering in. And one of the ladies was like, they came up to me, sis, that skirt now, if you come back between, that skirt need to, it need to come down a little bit. I'm hippie. I'm bottom heavy. Okay. I got booty. Okay. So I'm like, okay, now I got to, go change my, now I got to go change my dress. So my mom, who is not apostolic, who is not necessarily Pentecostal, she said, well, I've seen this little skirt down at, I think it was Belts or somewhere. And she said, I get it for you. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Speaking of husband. Hey, give me a few minutes. I'm getting my shoes on. But, that's my baby daddy. Y'all hold on. Lunch date. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, so my mom was telling me about the skirt. So when I got the skirt, I looked at the skirt. I said, oh, this is going to be a problem because this skirt has a split in it. This still going to be a problem. So what the heck is this? Oh, so I went on back. The skirt was longer though. The skirt came all the way down, nearly to my ankle, but it had a nice little split up the front on the side, kind of the side front. They complained about that. I said, I know I ain't going to be here. This is probably going to be my last year ushering with this church, going to this particular convocation. But I knew some life changes. I don't even know why I told that story. Why did I tell that story? I don't remember. I just like to tell, just who is the person behind the content creator? Who are we? I want to start doing stuff like that. Talk about some life stuff. I don't want to be messy all the time. I don't want to be messy all the time. Now, every now and then, I'm inspired to be messy. Some days I just wake up on the side of messy. I do. I wake up on the side of messy. Y'all did some stuff and shown some stuff that's funny. I don't want to talk about it. I might wake up and I want to talk about pink oil moisturizer. I'm gonna tell you, that was that pink oil moisturizer. I might wake up one day and say, you know what? I'm feeling pink oil moisturizer today. But then sometimes I don't feel like I lose interest. I got other things going on. And that's kind of how I'm feeling today. I got other things going on. I don't feel like it. I ain't interested. In the back and forth, wash, rinse, repeat, wash, rinse, repeat. I just need y'all to get another story. Okay, you fellas don't like each other. Okay. I think y'all broke. I think all of you broke. You want my opinion? I think all of you broke. I don't really think that. I'm just saying it. I kind of do though. I kind of do, but I don't think that. Hey, Shine Talks. Hey. So anyway, see how I can get inspired to be messy just that quick. I got messy. Not because Shine Talks came in here. I didn't even see her name when I started feeling that old messiness came upon me. Say, I think all you broke. Anyway, I am going to come back later and talk about Miss McCoy, Roberta McCoy, because that's something. That's something. And I think Roberta McCoy needs to be talked about. I think that some pastors need to hear, this is how we feel when those things are done. This is how you humiliate people who've been with you, people who've been loyal, people who have been loyal to your ministry, people who have supported you, people who desire to support you, and then you embarrass them. It just came out, girl. You see, when it just came out, I think all of you broke. And let me say something else while I'm feeling messy. You know what I hate? You know what I hate? I hate people who complain about the church, the black church. Just dog the black church and act like the black church ain't nothing. They traditional. You got church. What is it? Church something they call it. I can't even think of the word. But when it comes right down to it, you know what them same people, and I'm talking about a bunch of folks. If it hit your feet, I'm talking about you. Yes, I am. But you know what them same folks do? They use the church, but when they do their commentary, they do it in the churchy voice. When they ask for money, drop a seed. That's churchy. That's the same church you're complaining about. You're using their language. You're using their sayings. You're using all of their stuff so you can step up. So you can get some money up off people. What? Plant a seed in what? Plant a seed in what? When am I going to see come from the seed I just plant? Because when I plant seeds, I'm a country gal. I'm from North Carolina. In fact, I'm from the Carolinas, okay? I'm from the Carolinas, where we plant stuff. We plant shit. You know what I'm saying? You know, you plant corn, you're going to either get corn that you can eat, or you're going to eat the kind of corn that you're going to give to the hogs to feed the hogs, and it goes towards making other things the corn that you don't eat. Country folk know what I'm talking about. We plant watermelons, we're going to get some watermelons. What the hell we getting? We plant seeds over there. What coming back from them seeds? What's coming up? When I plant seed, I just planted. I'm about to plant in my cousin's church. He's a pastor because he's taking those funds and he's helping people that you need. His church is going to become somewhat a food bank and a place where people can come get help for the EBT situation and the people who are losing their job because of the government shutdown situation. That's the seed coming up. You know, his church always do. They ain't just do it this time. They're always a place where people can go for help. The church I'm a member of is known in the community. Everybody knows, not the community, the city. The citywide. What am I seeing? What you give? What them seeds? Where them seeds going? Who eating off them seeds? Who eating off them seeds? I just got questions. So the same church you dog, the same church you insult, is the same church that you copy for your come up. You copy it for your come up. Anyway, just like that, I got interest again. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for coming in. Y'all remember to live in peace on purpose. Live in peace on purpose. Do it on purpose. And no matter what you're going through, everything going on with our country, remember, all is well. All is well. Take a little book out of my Carolina Panthers. They were down when we first came in. They said the Panthers gonna lose every game. They're gonna come out 2-15. They're gonna win 2 games, lose all the rest of them. And look at us. We kept pounding. Keep pounding. Y'all hang on in there. All is well. Y'all be good. Thank y'all so much for coming in. Yeah, the members begin to speak out. Now I'm gonna talk about it later because I'm inspired now. Y'all be good.